I am 75 years old. I have no blood pressure. I have no, sukari. And if you bring trouble, even today, we can sort out issues here. Now, one of the problems is that I never get anxious. Anxiety is not good for leaders. You do what you should do, and you live I see you going to church every Sunday. I don't know why you go there. Because I do my work without leaving anything undone, and I leave the rest to God. And because of that, I am a very relaxed man. Even in war, even what, that's how we manage it. But if you are anxious, worried, quarreling, Mugenda Kweru was a pressure. In 1972, when we were fighting Idi Amin, I came from Tanzania during Christmas of 1972. I came from Tanzania and infiltrated into Kampala here. I was in Ndeba, staying with James Kasozi, one of our people, and I got malaria. So Kasozi took me to an African doctor who was in Ndeba there, and he gave me an injection for chloroquine. It was really itching, but I got cured. So let's take this medicine and we see what happens to the side effects. I used to be a member of DP earlier on, because you remember those parties. DP was a party for Catholics. UPC was a party for Protestants. Kabaka was a party for Baganda. Parties based on identity. But you can see the total loss of direction. If you encourage politics of identity, which fragments society into smaller groups, sectarian groups, how would you solve the problem of market now? Because now, remember, we are producing 10,000 hose instead of 1 per day. We are producing 10,000 blankets instead of taking a week to weave with the hand loom. Who will buy what you are producing? Because you are dividing people according to identity. You are a Catholic, you belong here. You are a Protestant, you belong here. You are a Muganda, you belong there. So how do we solve the problem of market? That's why, therefore, by 1965, having compared what was being taught in the school system with what we were seeing on the ground, we said no, these parties are useless. That's why some of the youth in the DP and the youth in UPC, like Rugunda was a terrible UPC. And Kategaya was, you see, Kategaya was 1 year older than me. In the voting of 1962, I didn't vote because I was 18 years that time, and they wanted for you to vote, you had to be 21. Kategaya was 19. But for him, he voted. And he voted 8 times. However, because of this exposure in the school system, we started seeing that this politics of identity was enemy to the future of Africa. And because we had seen what had happened in Europe, and we said no, we must go for the politics of interests, not politics of identity. Interests, not identity. That's how we started. That's how real NRM starts. So you may think this man is irrelevant. Why is he talking about all this? But I'm trying to show you where the logic of NRM comes from. The logic of the NRM. No, but before I talk about the logic, let me give you the 2 examples that we picked up in the school system. One example was France. France had been a United Kingdom for a long time, for many years, from the time of those Louis XIV and so on. But it had provinces within France which were like semi-autonomous. They were called fiefdoms. You could not go with merchandise from one province to another without paying tax. And that tax was called a certain name. I hope I will get it and put it in my speech by tomorrow. That particular tax. But the new middle class, these new people who had come up, the business people, who wanted the market to sell without being interrupted, they rose up against that system of the internal taxes. That actually was one of the reasons of the French Revolution, why they overthrew the monarchy, because they wanted freedom of trade. Want to trade in the whole of France. Once I produce something here, I should go and sell it in the whole of France without having to pay tax here, you pay tax there, you pay tax there. So you the municipal people who are putting taxes on Gonja, on Muchomo, this one in Rakai, what do you call Rukaya. Please leave those people. Leave those people. I don't want to be an NRM person that is taxing Gonja. Mugenda kweretera ekisirani. You are going to bring bad luck to yourselves. And the Banyankole say, that when you take something from a poor person, it brings you bad luck. You don't benefit. So those internal taxes are not good at all. Some even were putting roadblocks. You are taking us to the France before the revolution of 1789. You are interfering with the business. The Ugandans are not difficult to tax. Allah encourage them to earn money. Let them get some money. As soon as they get money in their pockets, in the evening they're in the bar. And you just put a tax on a bottle of beer, that's all. You don't have to struggle with them, with the roadblocks, with what? Because the tax on the beer is totally voluntary. The one who wants to pay it is the ones who buy the beer. If you don't buy the beer, you will not pay the tax. So why do you bother with these people, fighting with them over Gonja, Muchomo? Please, this is very, very bad. That's what caused it, one of the reasons that caused the French Revolution. The new middle class wanted freedom to trade. The feudal class, like you people, wanted taxes. It was that which caused the collapse of the French system. Now, the second example is Germany. Germany, by 1870, was not one country. It was 39 kingdoms. They were all German, but they were not united. But big landlords in Prussia, called Junkers, who are producing a lot of things, they couldn't accept this. That's how there was a war between France and Prussia in 1870, and France was defeated, and Germany was united, became one country, in order to solve the problem of the market. So therefore, because of that, that's how we evolved the NRM principles. Principle number one: it is useless to look at the tribes. It is useless to look at the religious groups for politics. It is useless to look down upon women, gender chauvinism. If you want to help your country, love all Ugandans. Because the Ugandans will help you to give you a bigger market if you wake up and you start producing something. So that became principle number one, patriotism. And then principle number two is even the internal market of Uganda, once we wake up, is not enough. We need the market of the whole of Africa. That's why from the 1960s, we have been telling you the principle of Pan-Africanism. Many of us went to study in the University of Dar es Salaam. It's not because there was no university here. There was a university here, but we ignored it. We said, this one, let's go to Dar es Salaam. Because we had Nyerere was talking the language of Africa. While people here were talking about tribes, religion, Nyerere was talking about Africa. That's what took us to Dar es Salaam. And when we went there, that's why the NRM is here. So, the second principle, Pan-Africanism. Patriotism, Pan-Africanism. But, even if you are Pan-Africanist or patriotic, if the society does not change, if we remain with the society of Ntungamo, where people were just okora, echida chionka, will they benefit from this Pan-Africanism? What will they sell in the African market? So that's why you say, point number three, principle number three of the NRM must be socio-economic transformation. The society must change. You cannot be there as leaders and you are just there with those villagers and you are comfortable with them. Some of them even join them with Marwa, that they are linking with the people. You find that you are bonding with them. I don't like that form of negative bonding. So, we must have socio-economic transformation. How are we going to transform society? The NRM gave you two ways. Number one, universal education. Let everybody go to school. Free education. We didn't have enough money, but as soon as we got some little money in 1997, we started universal free education. Because educated people will no longer be satisfied with Okoro Chidachonka. But our people have not implemented this program very well. Because of not understanding and because of looking for money from people who have no money, the teachers and some of the parents, they have certain PTA. We have said we should charge money. Now the question I want you to answer, can those people afford? Can they afford? The other day when we were at Kehangara with the Honorable Gambi, I asked this question. Only 10% of the crowd said they could afford. 90% said they cannot afford to pay. So, if they can't afford, and you chase children out of school, whom are you helping? And whom are you punishing? You are punishing Uganda because to remain with these uneducated people, they will cause problems even for you, the educated one. So I want the NRM to go back on the issue of free education. I am totally against the practice of reintroducing charges in the school system, the government schools, because it negates our whole aim of wanting to cause socio-economic transformation through education. It must be resolved.